5 News This Morning starts now.
We got to do what we got to do. It's just, it's part of the job.
National Guard members from Arkansas are heading south to help with border security. We'll have more on their year-long mission.
And temperatures eventually will cool off a little bit for tomorrow, but notice it's not necessarily the fall punch some are looking for. It's still going to stay rather warm and more a little summer-like, but at least it'll be less muggy. We'll talk more about that here coming up.
Nearly 2 years since the war in Gaza began, ceasefire talks begin in Egypt today. We'll have more on President Trump's plan proposing an end to the conflict.
But first, a live look outside in Ozark. A beautiful Monday morning at 6:30. Thanks for waking up with us. We hope you had a great weekend. Now, Halloween right around the corner. Have you guys noticed all of the Halloween candy out this year?
Oh, yeah.
But have you noticed the price on it this year?
It's expensive, but what I've noticed is Christmas is also out, and we haven't even gotten through Halloween.
Or Thanksgiving.
It's like at Walmart, you go and there's the Halloween section, but then Christmas is out too.
Well, it needs to slow the roll just a little.
Yes.
But Mother Nature could, kind of pick up and get with the season.
I was going to say, I don't think Mother Nature has gotten the calendar invite. I think it still thinks it's August because we're seeing highs still in the 80s. It's still pretty muggy out there. We'll show you what's going on across the region right now. Temperatures are in the 60s area-wide, some low 70s in Ozark and Van Buren. So those are the normal lows for the middle of July or early August. Usually we are going to be in the upper 40s in northwest Arkansas and mid 50s in the River Valley. So we're about 15 to close to 20 degrees above where we should be this time of year. And right now we're seeing mostly clear skies. You saw a little bit of some cloud cover out there in Ozark, especially along the I-40 corridor. A lot more cloud cover and rainfall off to our east. That system is going to fall just short of hitting us. But we do have a chance of maybe some rumbles of thunder later today. Head off to the bus stop though this morning. We'll see temperatures in the 60s with mostly clear skies. It's going to be muggy this afternoon. By lunchtime or recess, temperatures in the 70s, then heading home 80s area wide, and maybe a few spotty storms. I think the prime time will be about 3 o'clock to about 7 o'clock. So they're going to stay isolated, so meaning obviously not everyone's going to see them. It is going to be a little bit more fall-like starting tomorrow, but especially Wednesday and Thursday, especially with the humidity dropping. Otherwise, it's just going to be another dry week, mostly, and pretty warm as well. We'll talk more about that here coming up in your full forecast. We'll take you to a live shot here along I-49 at the Frog Bayou Bridge. Again, still seeing crews on the right lane southbound there, just a couple miles southwest of Mountainburg, and they were tending to a vehicle fire, a car hauler fire, earlier this morning at about 5 o'clock. Again, still seeing some emergency crews on site there. So if you're headed in that direction, southbound on I-49 near the Frog Bayou Bridge, could see a little bit of a slowdown on your morning commute. Well, that full forecast coming up in about 15 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
Thank you, Danny. Well, new information coming in this morning. Authorities in northern Arkansas think they may have killed the bear that mauled a camper to death in the Ozarks last week.
On Sunday, the Newton County Sheriff said that a bear was killed near the Sam's Throne Campground. It's the same area where a 6-year-old camper from Springfield, Missouri was found dead on Thursday night. A game camera later captured a bear inside the campground, and hunters with dogs helped track it down. The bear is being taken to Little Rock for testing. Authorities believe that it could be the same animal involved. The campground and surrounding area are still closed for the time being.
Nearly 120 Arkansas National Guard members are heading out this week for a year-long mission at the southern border. The deployment includes Florida Lakota helicopters and support crews, part of a routine rotation to assist Custom and Border Protection. One lieutenant says this is her first deployment.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous for the simple fact that I am the S1 officer, so I will be leading soldiers. But at the same time, I'm excited and I'm ready to lead.
Well, the soldiers will join a task force of over 340 from across the country. 5 News reporter anchor Emily Moss spoke to one of the 120 Guard members deployed over the weekend.
Yeah, he says that he's ready to make the community proud.
I just want to have the satisfaction that I went with my unit, did my job, and I made it back home.
Jose Silva is a chief warrant officer with the Arkansas National Guard. With decades of military experience in both the United States and Mexico, Silva says he's always known he wanted to defend the country he lives in.
Just to be proud of belong to an organization that defends the nation.
Serving as a pilot, flying is a lifetime dream for Silva, who says he's grateful he's able to continue living out that dream while defending the red, white, and blue.
Ever since I was a little kid, looking at the planes and helicopters in the sky was something that caught my attention. That was my ultimate goal, growing up and thinking I'll be a pilot one day. And the Army gave me the opportunity. The Army National Guard gave me the opportunity, and I've been very blessed and thankful for accomplishing my childhood dream.
This is not Silva's first deployment, and as he prepares to leave Arkansas for over a year, he says his family will be his right hand, operating his business at home while keeping connected to each other as much as possible.
Just not to forget that we're still there. Even though the physical part is not there, we're still connected.
Silva says his goal for this deployment is to fulfill the duties of the mission, but also show Arkansans they can rely on their guardsmen to get the job done.
We have a final goal, which is just do our job and make the community proud.
Covering news where you live, Emily Moss, 5 News.
The guardsmen with this deployment will return in November of 2026. Meanwhile, new video shows another night of protests outside an ICE facility in Portland, Oregon. Late Sunday, a Trump-appointed judge temporarily blocked the administration from deploying any National Guard units to Oregon. The day before, she blocked the White House from deploying Oregon's National Guard to Portland. Sunday, the president moved to send troops from California and from Texas. Portland's mayor and the state's governor, both Democrats, maintain that the city is safe.
Well, today, another effort to end the federal government shutdown. We're taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol here at 6:35 this morning, where the Senate is set to return for more votes on short-term spending bills. Over the weekend, Republicans pushed to fund the government as is. Meanwhile, Democrats are demanding that the bill add provisions to protect subsidies under the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid.
We will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people.
We want to fix it so it works.
Well, President Trump and Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson said they want to look at ways to address federal health care subsidies, but after the shutdown ends. Meanwhile, the president is doubling down on his threat to fire federal workers.
Well, millions of people who rely on food stamps and family aid through federal programs could soon be at risk of losing assistance during the government shutdown. Funding was cut off on September 30th. These programs are now relying on reserve funds until the government passes a new spending plan. WIC is a federal funded program for women, infants, and children, and it could be impacted.
Or really young children whose sole source of nutrition may be infant formula, the loss of WIC would be absolutely devastating because their families don't have other options.
She says if the government does not pass a spending bill within the next 2 weeks, funding will likely run out. Meanwhile, funding for other programs like the Supplement Nutrition Assistance Program could also be at risk. Well, analysts say an end to the war in Gaza could be within reach as ceasefire talks begin in Egypt today.
Yeah, Israel, Hamas, and the U.S. have delegations there. Negotiations are discussing President Trump's 20-point roadmap for peace. It calls for an immediate end to the war and then gives Hamas 72 hours to release all Israeli hostages. After that, it calls for Israel to set free 250 prisoners and 1,700 detainees. The plan also involves Israel's eventual withdrawal from Gaza. For the first time, Israeli leaders are publicly agreeing to that idea.
There's a lot of will on every party to try and get a deal this week.
Well, a UN inquiry says that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Also sparking outrage is Israel's recent attempt to assassinate Hamas ceasefire delegation in Qatar.